Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Collapse of Star Dome Railway. Exposed top 10 bad women. When March 7th and Star Sister were still waiting for the next station on the Star Dome train, and while Ying Jie was still chatting about instant noodles in the Happy Land, the sudden collapse of the live broadcast connected the two worlds together, and it started playing, Top 10 Bad Women in Collapse Ranking, Top 10. The scene of domestic violence in Thunderbolt Yayi. Lament of the Criminals, Top 9. Star Dome Fox Spirit Stopping Cloud. Engong, Don't Do This, Top 8. Black Tiger Amulet. The Return of Those Who Understand the Law. Top 1. Cocolia vs Star Sister. Star Dome First Boss Battle. Kiana. It's impossible, how could Yayi be willing to hit me? Wuliang Tajiko. Why are all my students lawbreakers? Kafka. My ranking is not low Alicia. Little Alicia, how could I possibly be a bad woman? Mebius. It doesn't matter if you say I'm bad, but what does it mean if you say I'm tough? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 1. The arrival of the top 10 bad women ranking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pre-civilization era. The conference room at the headquarters of the fire-chasing moth. Long lost as the chief savior of the 13 heroes, Kevin. He gathered everyone to come to the conference room for team building. Just on this long conference table except for Kevin himself. The other 12 Yingjie, their faces are not very attractive. Because of it's a bowl of ordinary instant noodles that can't be more ordinary. And the core of Kevin's team building is also Shua Pao Mian contest. Interestingly, it is also in this conference room. Dr. May, who never allowed Kevin to make instant noodles or fast food products, didn't say much. After all, he was able to invite Ying Jie to join the team building today. At least, he hasn't become an ice cube so quickly yet. Just gathered everyone to eat instant noodles together. This is still a bit I saw Eden, she was the first to speak. So, Kevin, is our team building really just about eating instant noodles? Continuing Eden's lines, the cat next to her, Pedophilus, also spoke up. Kevin, if it really doesn't work out, you can have Master Qian go to the kitchen. But listen to the lines of Pedophilus. On the other end of the conference table, the irritable old man Yingjie immediately let out a scolding voice. Who is Master Qian? And, as a warrior, I won't go to the kitchen. Listen to the roast of the British and Jies, and act as the initiator of the league building again. Kevin, who has gradually turned into an ice cube, is somewhat troubled. In his opinion, isn't this Shua Pao Mian contest quite good? Why everyone's reaction seems unhappy. But just when Kevin was in trouble. Suddenly. With a buzzing sound. In the center of this conference room, a huge, suspended painted black light curtain appeared in front of the Ying Jie people without warning. All at once. The English Jie who were still roast about the wordy instant noodles contest just now are all ready. Is this May's new weapon for dealing with the Lawmaker? Kevin tentatively raised this question. But listening to Kevin's question, Dr. May shook his head and made a negative voice. No, I'm not sure. But it seems that this light screen has a completely unknown level of technology. Moreover, this light curtain seems to be preparing to play something if possible. Let's take a look at what this light curtain is going to play. Since Dr. May has reached this point, the other heroes naturally have nothing else to say and are waiting for what this mysterious light curtain is going to do. And on the other side, another world. In the vast and boundless space, a train is steadily moving forward. The decoration inside the Star Dome train is still retro and elegant, with some passengers seated or divided. At this moment, a lovely, youthful and beautiful girl with short pink hair is standing in the center of the aisle, her eyes tightly closed, and she keeps muttering. I won't fall, I won't fall, please return to your seats and take your seats, the transition is about to begin. Not far from her, the petite train conductor Pam was shouting hard. However, for them, this is already a daily routine. The conductor asked everyone to do well, while March 7th was a prayer not to fall. This kind of scene has been shown countless times on the Star Dome train. As another member of the three families of the Starry Sky, Dan Heng still sits in his own room. As usual, for him, whether he appears in the carriage or not is not important. As for the protagonist with silver-gray long hair and a beautiful appearance, Sister Xing. She looked at March 7th beside her with a disdainful expression, as if looking at a fool. The picture of all of this, they are all so familiar and daily. But it was in such a moment. A sudden painted black light curtain appeared inside the carriage of the Star Dome train. The appearance of this light curtain naturally attracted the attention of everyone inside the carriage. As for Captain Pam, he shook his head and said, "Isn't this something made by any mischievous passenger again?" On the Star Dome train, there are various talented people and extraordinary scholars boarding. The occurrence of such a situation was not surprising to Captain Pam. As for March 7th, she immediately showed a look of excitement and anticipation. "Hey! Light curtain, is this supposed to play a video?" When the expectant voice sounded on March 7th, Sister Xing's expression appeared particularly serious. "I feel like it's not that simple. Saint Freya Academy, the Valkyrie dormitory on weekends. Damn it. I don't believe in the next move, I'll still lose to Blonia." Grasp the game console controller tightly and stare at the game screen. Famous Paramecium Kiana, she gritted her teeth and said so. Sitting next to Kiana, Blonia, who was also holding a game console controller, glanced at Kiana beside her and said in silence. "You have already lost to Blonia 38 times today. If this continues, the total record of Paramecium and Blonia will be even greater. Damn it, stop talking. Blonia." Listening to the daily bickering between Kiana and Blonia, Thunderbolt Yayi lightly covered her mouth and smiled. Such daily life she has probably seen it countless times already. However, I looked at the time on the clock on the wall. Thunderbolt Yayi, she shifted her gaze to the nearby Fu Hua Shangxian. "Captain Fu Hua. It's almost time. Let's also go and prepare tonight's dinner together, shall we?" Listening to the lines of Thunderbolt Yayi, Fu Hua Shangxian nodded. "Well, that's good either." Speaking, Fu Hua Shangxian and Thunderbolt Yayi got up from the sofa at the same time, ready to set off for the kitchen. At this moment, a ding sound came from the void. 4 female martial gods raised their heads at the same time. Above the dormitory, a white light curtain appeared. The gaze of the female martial gods was simultaneously drawn to them. Thunderbolt Yayi. "Kiana, what is this?" "Kiana. I don't know either. Although it's strange, it doesn't feel like there's any threat." Blonia. "Completely inexplicable technology. It's like magic." The three families of you each expressed their inner thoughts. And Fu Hua Shangxian also frowned. "Look at the white light curtain above. There seems to be text on it. Let's take a look together." Sure enough, lines of fonts appeared in the light screen. Inventory of the top 10 bad women in Collapse, top 10. Thunderbolt Yayi. Large-scale domestic violence scene. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 2. Kiana's surprise. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the light curtain, inside the dean's office at St. Freya College. Looking at this title sitting on the significantly elevated chair, Teresa tilted her head and made a puzzled sound. Collapse. The top 10 bad women. What is that thing? By the way, why does Yayi's name also appear on it? And the title is Domestic Violence Scene. What does this mean? The mysterious light curtain that suddenly appeared in the office brought countless doubts to Teresa. However, despite her doubts, Teresa did not seem too wary of this light curtain. Similarly by Teresa's side. At this moment, Wuliang Tajiko also showed a very interesting expression. Well, although I don't know what it is but it looks quite interesting. Her gaze seemed to be anticipation. On the other side, inside the Black Tower space station in the Star Dome world. Looking at the sudden appearance of the light curtain and the title. Ms. Haida, with her hands on her hips, showed a clearly displeased and somewhat mischievous expression, and spoke fiercely. How exactly did this thing appear inside my space station? Can you actually avoid all the security here? Or is it a technology that even my genius cannot decipher? In Black Tower's tone, there are various types of dissatisfaction. As a member of the Genius Club, Haida is very dissatisfied with his inability to understand the technological level of this light curtain. However, just as Black Tower expressed his inner dissatisfaction, the little rich woman next to her, Esther, awkwardly scratched the back of her head and said, "But isn't the space station mine?" Although this space station is called the Black Tower Space Station, most of its daily operations are also complex. But the person who funded the construction of this space station, and as the nominal station owner, was actually Esther. And what sets it apart from the Black Tower is Esther is still very interested in this sudden appearance of the light curtain. It looks like this light curtain is quite interesting. I can't even see through the Black Tower the top 10 bad women. I feel really worth looking forward to. A hopeful smile appeared at the corner of Esther's mouth. Inside the Valkyrie dormitory at St. Freya College. The top 10 bad women are actually Yayi. And what the hell does the title of Domestic Violence Scene mean? After seeing the title on the light screen, Kiana immediately apologized for Thunderbolt Yayi. As for Thunderbolt Yayi herself, she just frowned slightly and didn't say anything. I don't know how she views that light curtain now, and what things she is thinking about in her heart. However, Blonia and Fuhua Shangxian still had calm expressions. However, usually, there doesn't seem to be much change in their facial expressions between the two of them. But what can be seen is that the two still hold a cautious attitude towards this inexplicable light curtain. But now let's take a look at what this light curtain is really up to. When the audience of Star Dome and Collapse 3, both worlds of Collapse, began to wait for this light curtain performance finally. Above the light screen, the video also began to play. In the story, the sky is shrouded in dark clouds, and even a single strand of sunlight cannot shine on the earth. The blue thunder occasionally flashed, bringing a roar. The picture appears particularly gloomy. Just such a scene brings an especially oppressive atmosphere to the audience. As the camera zooms in, the place where the story begins seems to be the girls' school called Qianyu Academy, where Kiana and Leah once attended. However, what's interesting is that the first person to appear in the picture is not the protagonist of the video. But it's the protagonist's friend, Kiana. With a bang. Kiana, dressed in a sports jacket, seemed to have been subjected to some kind of powerful attack as she collided with the barbed wire fence on the school rooftop, making a painful and muffled sound. But before Kiana can recover, a purple-black figure also entered the audience's field of vision. She rushed towards Kiana at lightning speed with a bang. With his right hand, he locked his throat and tightly grabbed Kiana's neck, making her unable to breathe and continuously sobbing in pain. Clearly, they are two famous friends who have collapsed, but now the two are starting to confront each other with swords and knives. What's going on? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 3. The Shock of the Heroes. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Outside the light curtain, the fire moth meeting room of the pre-civilization era. Watching Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi appear in the video. Immediately, all 13 Ying Jie members showed a surprised expression at the same time. Even Alicia, who always carries a smile and confidence in any situation. She also raised her right hand lightly, covered her mouth, and let out a surprised voice. Those two children are lawbreakers. Moreover, it is also the law of emptiness and the law of thunder. However, it seems that they are not the law of emptiness and law of thunder that we have encountered before. What's going on here? Listen to Alicia's surprised voice. Kevin next to him still said expressionlessly. We have indeed defeated the law of emptiness and law of thunder. Even their legal core has been created by us as the God's key. In theory they no longer exist, that's right. But now this situation cannot be explained by common sense, although Kevin also feels that the situation in the video is somewhat eerie, but he didn't have any extra nervousness. After all, after experiencing so many battles and the fusion warrior plan before, his strength is no longer what it used to be. If it were just the law of the void and the law of the thunder, he wouldn't feel much of a problem about it. Meanwhile, other Yingjie probably thought the same way. But it cannot be denied that the defeated lawyer once again appeared in a brand new appearance, which surprised everyone. Because theoretically, this kind of thing should not have happened. On the other side, inside the Valkyrie's dormitory. Also watching the scene in the video. Whether it was Kiana or Thunderbolt Yayi, both of them were surprised, even with incredulous expressions. How could it be? How could it be? This kind of thing is simply impossible to happen. Yayi, she would never take action against me no matter what happens. Yayi, how could she possibly hurt me? Kiana let out a loud shout. She couldn't accept the content in the video now. In her mind, Thunderbolt Yayi is the best companion and best friend. No matter what happens, they will never harm each other. But this story from the future undoubtedly negates Kiana's inner fantasies. And beside Kiana, as the protagonist of the video herself, Thunderbolt Yayi, she was also very surprised by this story from the future. At the same time, she also felt very heartbroken about the paramecium in the video. Although she doesn't usually express herself directly, Kiana does hold a significant position in the mind of Thunderbolt Yayi. She furrowed her brow and spoke with great concern. There must be some kind of reason for me to take action against Kiana. No. Even if there is any reason, I absolutely cannot harm Kiana. That's right. Thunderbolt Yayi felt that she would only choose to harm Kiana unless it was absolutely necessary, extremely critical, or special circumstances. And this injury must also be a choice made to protect her. But even if explained in this way, Thunderbolt Yayi still feels that this is not enough to be a reason to harm Kiana. So in the future, what kind of story has happened? Meanwhile, inside the carriage of the Star Dome train. Also watching this battle in the video. On March 7th, he clenched his little pink fist and made a worried voice. The girl with white hair seems to be in great pain, not just physically, but also in battle with the girl with purple hair. Can you say are they two very close friends? Although in daily life, March 7th is a complete idiot. But this time, her feelings were particularly acute. And just as March 7th had just made an unexpected sound. Upon realizing the intention, Hiko, Walter, and Dan Hein, the three of them, also walked out of the room in the carriage. I saw the scene in the video. Dan Heng's expression remained so calm. As for Walter's words, he doesn't need to say much more for him, this is just a replay of a past movie. On the other hand, it was the machine from Planet World. When she saw Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi fighting in the video, her expression clearly changed. Who are those two children? Exactly. Why is there a noticeable palpitations in my heart when I see them? What exactly is this feeling like? While speaking, Yingjie lifted her right hand and gently placed it on her chest. She couldn't even express that incredibly special feeling through words. She is thinking, what kind of relationship does she have with the two girls in the video? Where does this inexplicable palpitations come from? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period, April 4th to April 6th. 4. The appearance of barrage. Looking for monthly tickets and evaluation tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When audiences from the two worlds of Xingqiong and Bing 3 become interested in the stories in the video, continue playing the video above the light screen. On the rooftop of Qianyu Academy, Thunderbolt Yayi's left hand tightly grabbed Kiana's neck and sternly said to her with extremely cold eyes, "Give up." Speaking, Thunderbolt Yayi forcefully threw Kiana out again. With a bang, Kiana, who was thrown out, stopped only when she collided with the fence of the barbed wire. However, from the lines of Thunderbolt Yayi just now, you can hear Kiana seems to be trying to stop Thunderbolt Yayi from doing something that led to the outbreak of this battle. And that thing, it was Thunderbolt Yayi who was invited by the first British hero of the pre-civilization era, Kevin, to join the World Snake. Another thing is, even if subjected to such ruthless and fierce attacks, Kiana, she still struggled to stand up while supporting the barbed wire fence. It seems that even if you are hit so hard by Thunderbolt Yayi, it's still good. Kiana, she still has no intention of letting off Thunderbolt Sprout clothes. She couldn't let her best friend join the organization called World Snake. I won't let you go. Kiana shouted loudly. Listen to Kiana's shout. Thunderbolt Yayi still looked at her with a very cold and contemptuous gaze, slightly glancing at her and mocking her. With your barely breathing appearance. Outside the light curtain, inside the conference room of the moth-chasing fire in the pre-civilization era. Watch the battle between the two lawyers in the video and listen to their lines. The 13 young heroes present showed an unexpected expression at the same time. These two lawyers are having a conversation, and it seems that they are all taking care of each other in their own way. This has never happened in this era of civilization. I saw Alicia, she said in surprise. Oh, these two lawyers. They seem to have self-awareness. This is different from all the lawyers we have encountered so far. Kevin nodded as he listened to Alicia's surprised voice. Well, that's true. Plain and calm, his words were so brief that it was impossible to guess what Kevin was thinking now. But just as Kevin and Alicia had just expressed their inner surprise, the cat next to her, Pato Felice, pointed below the light curtain and made a surprised sound. Wait, you guys, look. Above this light curtain it seems like there are words. Accompanied by the words of pedophiles, just finished. Immediately, Ying Jie's gaze shifted to the light curtain. Indeed, you can see some subtitles from the bottom of the screen. That seems to be comments from audiences from other worlds. Ho Benjie. The choice to join the World Snake back then was indeed impulsive, but it was not a wrong choice. Thunderbolt Yayi. So, there's a reason why I took action against Kiana, right? Ho Benjie. Yes, I used to be. Joining the World Snake was also to protect some fool. Kiana. Ah. Is it the future Yayi? Sure enough, I knew Yayi wouldn't easily attack me, March 7th. I knew. The story is not that simple. So, did the two of them reconcile in the end? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 5. The appearance of the Siegfried couple. Kiana's shock. You are listening at novelfull.audio. World Snake. This name sounds a bit familiar. Speaking, how did Kevin become the leader of the World Snakes? Outside the light curtain, inside the conference room of the former civilization's moth-chasing fire. Looking at the barrage of bullets from the future in the light curtain. Mebius immediately let out a voice of dissatisfaction. On Dr. May's side, she seemed to have noticed something unusual. With her right hand resting on her chin, she let out a sound of contemplation. Looking at the words on the light screen. It seems like a story from the future, but since it is the future, why is Kevin there, but there's no trace of us? Dr. May raised this question. But I'm afraid she already has an answer to this question in her own heart. And just as Ying Jie and his friends had their thoughts on this video. Only Alicia is alone. She went to watch the video with a smile on her face, featuring Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi. Her joyful gaze seemed to be admiring the work that satisfied her the most. No one knows what is Alicia thinking now. On the other side, there is the upper level of Bellowberg in the Star Dome world. Looking at the light curtain Cocolia, Blonia Land, and Jeopard in the palace. They all looked at the light screen with serious expressions at the same time. Watching this video Cocolia, she whispered to herself at a volume that only she could hear. The light curtain appeared too suddenly, can we say that? This is something created by the star core. For something beyond cognition, Cocolia can only be judged as a trick of the star core. But unfortunately, this time it's not. But what's even more interesting is that, as the next successor of the great guardian of Bellowberg, Blonia Rand saw this light curtain and watched Kiana and Thunderbolt sprout in the video. Blonia Rand's mood inexplicably became complicated. My right hand gently covered my chest, Blonia Rand said. Okay. What a strange feeling. These two girls, I just saw them for the first time. But what is the real reason for this inner palpitations and resonance? Can you say I have seen them before? Have I ever known them? A strange feeling emerged in Blonia Rand's heart. Continuing. Under the gaze of the audience in the worlds of Beng 3 and Xingqiong, their vision continued to return to the light curtain. This video, continue playing listening to Thunderbolt Yayi's merciless mockery. Kiana was not discouraged. After all, nothing can cut off her bond and emotions with Thunderbolt Yayi. Moreover, this is just language. Grasping her fist tightly, Kiana rushed towards the Thunderbolt Yayi in front of her with one swift step. Just rely on my fist. At the moment when the words fell, Kiana had already arrived in front of Thunderbolt Yayi. Continuous punches kept swinging towards Thunderbolt Yayi. The two of them had a very exciting close combat performance. Unfortunately, after several consecutive rounds, Kiana didn't even have any advantage. Even seizing a loophole, Thunderbolt Yayi suddenly lifted her leg. The sound of bang was once again muffled. Kiana, she was once again kicked away heavily. Even there was still a hint of blue thunder wrapped around Kiana's body. Undoubtedly, the strike from Thunderbolt Yayi just now was not just a simple physical attack. Above the light curtain, barrage from various regions of Beng 3 and the Star Dome once again emerged. Kiana. Although I already know that this battle has a reason, seeing the scene of Yayi hitting me hard still hurts so much. Thunderbolt Yayi. I'm sorry, Kiana. But I think there must be a very important reason why I will be so firm and ruthless in the future. Blonia. I also want to give the paramecium a hard lesson. Cecilia. Kiana, this child, doesn't seem to be a match for Thunderbolt Sprout at all. Chi Gafei. My wife is right. In the future, our children still need to be trained well, otherwise they will be easily bullied by others. Kiana. Hello. Stinky Dad, what are you talking about? Didn't I exercise very well? Siegfried. You little devil, who do you call Dad? You're talking nonsense. I just got married to Cecilia, how could I have children? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 6. The Power of the Lawmaker. Seeking monthly pass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Teresa. Siegfried. Kiana, she's really your child with Cecilia. Cecilia. Are what you're saying true, Teresa? I've been thinking about whether this light screen video came from the future, and now it seems like it does. Siegfried. Ah, this. So the child who was beaten up is really the daughter of Cecilia and me. Starry Sky Walter. I never expected to see you again in such a way, Siegfried. Siegfried. Walter, are you the leader of Inverse Entropy? No, I don't know you. Otto. Walter. You're still alive. This really surprises me. March 7th. Is it strange that Uncle Yang is still alive? The person upstairs named Otto, why do you ask that? Dan Hung. Look inside, there are stories we don't know about here. Raksha. There is no need to discuss this topic. For us who are abundant, it is also possible to have human flesh and bones rise and fall. Otto. Upstairs, your topic has successfully caught my attention. On the barrage across different timelines, audiences from the Star Dome world and the Collapse 3 world began to engage in lively communication. This special light curtain plays future stories while it also connects two worlds with different timelines. Let these characters who should not have been out of touch start a wonderful round of communication. And the power of different systems in two worlds has also sparked different dialogues. Otto is interested in the abundant power of the Rakshasa. At the same time, he was also surprised by Walter continuing to sit up in the Star Dome world. As for now, continue to focus on the video. The scene of domestic violence between Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi is just beginning. Although Kiana was kicked hard by Thunderbolt Yayi just now and flew out however, after exerting great strength. Once again, Kiana rushed towards the Thunderbolt Yayi in front of her. As we are about to reach the front of Thunderbolt Yayi, Kiana jumped up straight and kicked him back in his own way. Even when Kiana launched an attack, she could see the orange shimmering cat claw ability leg from above her right leg. This is a special attack technique called Neifukyo that comes with Kiana's Valkyrie armor. By Lien. Enable your kicks to directly come with high damage cat claw attacks. But what's even more surprising is faced with Kiana's attack. Thunderbolt Yayi just lowered her waist and easily avoided Kiana's flying kick. Even an inverted golden hook that goes with the flow. Kiana, who was originally on the offensive side, was once again kicked away by Thunderbolt Yayi and collided with the fence of the barbed wire. Outside the light curtain, inside a cozy cabin with an earlier timeline. Watching Kiana being beaten by Thunderbolt Yayi in the video immediately. Knowing that this was his daughter's Siegfried, he immediately let out a voice of concern and anxiety. This Kiana, this child, is not a match for that girl named Thunderbolt Yayi at all. By the way, haven't I taught her gun fighting in the future? It shouldn't be. Siegfried felt that since Kiana was his daughter and Cecilia's daughter, she, who has inherited the extremely excellent genes of both, should not be the only one to this extent. But compared to Siegfried's concern about Kiana's inability to defeat Thunderbolt Yayi, as a mother, Cecilia is actually more concerned about something else. With silver hair and blue pupils, as well as such a stubborn personality, he is indeed very much like Siegfried. But from the conversation between the child and Thunderbolt Yayi just now, it can be heard that Kiana seems to have wanted to prevent Thunderbolt Yayi from joining an organization called World Snakes, which led to this battle. But why does that child have to stop Thunderbolt Yayi from leaving? I can see that the child who had no choice but to fight against Thunderbolt Yayi. Her heart was in great pain. As a woman and mother, Cecilia's emotions are clearly much more delicate than Siegfried's. Rather than worrying about Kiana's battle situation, Cecilia is actually more concerned about the relationship between Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi. On the other side, inside the carriage of the Star Dome train in the Star Dome world. Also watching the battle between Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi in the video. On March 7th, I couldn't help but clench my fist and make a slightly worried voice. Oh my! This battle is too overwhelming. That child named Kiana is not a match for Thunderbolt Yayi at all. Listen to the worries of March 7th. Walter beside him lifted his eyes and suddenly joined the conversation. Indeed, but there is also a special power in that girl's body. That force may become the key point in changing the situation. Yingjie. So, what kind of power is that? Starry Sky Walter. The power of the Lawmaker, named Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 7. Dialogue between two concubines. Shockwave Collapse 3 and Star Dome. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Under the worried gaze of the audience of Bang 3 and Star Dome World. In the video, the battle between Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi still continuing. Although Kiana was kicked out by Thunderbolt Yayi just now. But she immediately adjusted again and rushed towards the direction of Thunderbolt Yayi. She grabbed the left leg of Thunderbolt Yayi, intending to strike it with an elbow. Although this will cause serious damage to Thunderbolt Yayi. But at least allowing her to have no freedom of movement is already enough. And if you pay close attention to the details above Kiana's left eye position, an orange golden light began to flicker. At the same time, the position of her left elbow where she launched the attack was also covered with purple shattering patterns. It looks like Kiana is truly determined not to let Thunderbolt Yayi leave her. However, what about her powerful and highly pure collapse energy? Outside the light curtain, inside the dean's office of St. Freya College. Watching the strange situations on Kiana in the video. Teresa, she couldn't help but let out a worried voice. Golden pupils, purple shattered veins. There is also such a high purity of collapse that can react. Kiana, that child, how could she have such a degree of strength? The power of this collapse energy has reached over 1000 HW. I am worried that the collapse energy that can achieve this power. Teresa did not finish all the subsequent words. But the meaning behind it is self-evident. As for the immeasurable Tajiko next to her, she, who has always been calm and optimistic about everything, also frowned at this moment, as if she was worried about something in her heart. But neither she nor Teresa was willing to reveal the truth. On the other side, inside the Black Tower space station in the Star Dome world. Similarly, watching the video, Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi's battle. Feeling the changes in Kiana's ability to collapse. Black Tower's expression began to become interested. Interestingly, there seems to be a special power lurking in the woman with white hair. Although not particularly powerful, the purity is average. But it is indeed a power system different from our world. There is a need for research. As a member of the Genius Club, Haida harbors a curiosity towards all new things. After all, she could have said before that she wanted to understand the lines of Sister Planar. But as he left the discussion between the audience of Bang 3 and the Star Dome world, his gaze shifted back to the video of the light curtain. Watching Kiana unleash a portion of the power of a lawmaker attempting to inflict a decisive blow on oneself. Thunderbolt Yayi also realized that she could never make the other party succeed. Take the lead, turn around and kick in the air. A flying kick with blue electric light hit Kiana's temple with a bang. Kiana stumbled over directly. And, because the location of the attack is due to the temple when she fell out, Kiana's consciousness had already begun to blur. But Thunderbolt Yayi, she had no intention of showing mercy to Kiana. With a quick flash, she quickly arrived in front of Kiana with a loud bang and another flying knee. It hit Kiana's door heavily. This time Kiana suddenly lost consciousness and flew high. And then, boom boom. Kiana fell heavily onto a wooden bench again. When the video reached this point, the audience couldn't help but burst into barrage once again. Chi Gafei. Hey! This kid, how could he specifically attack the deadly spot? Did he bully my daughter like that? Kiana. Shut up, Dad, don't scold my Yayi. Siegfried. Are you really my child? I'm just helping you talk. Cecilia. It seems that for Kiana. Thunderbolt Sprout is really a very important companion, isn't it? Kiana. Yes, Mom. I was pleasantly surprised to be able to talk to you on the barrage. Teresa. Indeed, I am also very pleased to see you three talking here. Thunderbolt Yayi. I'm sorry, but I did go too far. Alicia. Oh my, did you actually start apologizing? This story has really become more interesting, Black Tower. You two seem to have special powers on your bodies, and I want to explore them. Yingjie. This is not possible, Black Tower. They seem quite important to me. Wuliang Tajiko. Wait, upstairs, you're also called Yingjie. P.S. For the first time, please calculate the data. Although the condition of the flowers is good. But the number of evaluation tickets and monthly tickets compared to the previous one really worries me a bit. If possible, would readers and dads please give a little bit of charity to the street? I promise to work hard to update this book. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 8. Is Kiana a descendant of Kevin? All Yingjie Zhen. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Outside the light curtain, inside the carriage of the Star Dome train in the Star Dome world. Looking at the bullet screen, the one with the same name as himself, Wuliang Tajiko. Yingjie, she showed a somewhat unexpected expression. In that world. It seems that someone has the same name as me. And, I have a feeling in my mind she's not just the same as my name. At this moment, Yingjie seemed to have already sensed the Star Dome world may have an inseparable and complex relationship with Collapse 3. It is precisely for this reason that I just had that palpitating feeling towards Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi. As for March 7th next to her, she also spoke with interested voices about the light curtain in the video. Hey, a person with the same name as Yingjie. However, I still care more about the girl named Alicia, perhaps because there are many overlapping attribute points. March 7th is more interested in Alicia. As for Dan Heng and Ying Jie next to them, their expressions remained as calm as ever. There is also Mr. Walter, the indigenous person who died 3 times. Now he is also staring at the huge light curtain with a serious expression on his face, without saying much. Although he comes from the world of Beng 3, for the story of that time period he doesn't seem to be completely clear either. After all, during that time period, he had not yet mastered the invincible skill of yang crouching and sitting up. At the same time, in the Room of Destiny headquarters, which only Otto has the authority and qualifications to enter. Watching the battle between Kiana and Thunderbolt Yayi in the light curtain Otto, he also spoke with a particularly concerned voice. It seems that I have almost succeeded in the future. Although it's not all yet, the power that Kiana just activated undoubtedly belongs to the level of the Lawmaker. Very good. In this way, I am one step closer to resurrected Kalian. On the surface, Otto has been dedicated to resisting collapse. Although in fact, he has indeed made great contributions to the collapse of human struggle. But the essence behind all his actions, it's all about finding a way to resurrect Kalian. Now I see that a part of my plan has been successful. Otto naturally felt joy as well. Let humanity become the lawgivers, and control the power of the lawgivers with the human heart. Now, leave from the various voices of the audience in the worlds of Beng 3 and Xingqiong. The gaze refocused and returned to the light screen. The video continued to play after a heavy impact on the wooden bench. Kiana briefly lost her composure. But as a Valkyrie, that strong physical fitness made her quickly readjust. What's even more astonishing is that even Thunderbolt Yayi has already dealt her such a harsh hand. But Kiana's will has not been shaken by this. I don't know. As she spoke, Kiana forcefully lifted the wooden bench. Forcefully pulled this public bench out from the cement floor. The special bloodline of the Kaslana family endows Kiana with astonishing monster power. I gave up. After adding the lines that were not finished just now. Kiana forcefully threw the bench in her hand towards the direction of Thunderbolt Yayi. Next second. The bench didn't even touch the Thunderbolt sprout clothes with a flash of Wang, thunder flashed through. The bench was split in half. Kiana has power that belongs to the level of a lawmaker. So the same on the body of Thunderbolt Yayi, there also exists the power of the lawmaker level. Outside the light curtain, inside the conference room of the moth chasing fire in the pre-civilization era. Watching the video show Kiana's strange power just now. The 13 heroes did not actually care much. Because of that level, for these fusion warriors, that is the simplest thing to do. But only Alicia noticed something unusual. The index finger of the right hand lightly tapped on the edge of the lip. Alicia let out a puzzled voice. White hair and blue pupils. Powerful monster power. Kiana Kaslana Kevin Kaslana, even the surname is the same. Moreover, this is still a story of the future. Hey Kevin, do you think it's possible this child named Kiana, is she your future child with Dr. May accompanied by Alicia's question? All at once. The people in the entire Fire Moth meeting room were stunned. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 9, Destiny, and, ending Cocoon. Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Accompanied by Alicia, she raised this question in this conference room. Yingjie and his companions were both shocked at the same time. Then, think it over and over again. Combining what Alicia just said with her thoughts, it seems like that's really the case. I saw the snake Mebius, who was the first to speak. Indeed, although Alicia hates it. But what she said earlier was not wrong. White hair, blue pupils, amazing monster power, if it weren't for the fusion warrior. It is impossible for humans to possess such a level of power. And there's also the special surname Kaslana. There should be no controversy about Kiana being a descendant of Kevin. Mebius believes that there are so many unique and diverse overlapping points. Only Kiana is a descendant of Kevin, which makes sense. Besides, there is no possibility to explain the astonishing overlap of attributes between Kevin and Kiana. Listen to the analysis of Alicia and Mebius. Sakura next to her nodded in agreement and said, well, this statement does make sense. No, it should be said there is nothing more accurate than this. Kiana is indeed a descendant of Kevin. So, the people who can reproduce with Kevin. Speaking, Sakura shifted her gaze to Dr. May. Kevin and Dr. May, this couple, are not a secret in the entire Fire Moth. And then one is the most infatuated ice cube. One is a fool who is solely focused on studying Collapse and has only one person in his heart. Since Kiana is a descendant of Kevin, so, she can only be a descendant of Kevin and Dr. May. At this moment, in addition to Yingjie, Grexiu also has Costumort. Almost all the Ying Jie present focused their attention on both Kevin and Dr. May at the same time. However, for such a truth, for such a future, Kevin didn't feel shy. On the contrary, there was a little surprise. This is not a common thing for him as an ice cube. It seems that in the future, has my low temperature problem finally been solved? What Kevin cares about seems to make people a bit concerned. And Dr. May, she is also pondering another question. Kevin is able to belong to the same era as the distant inheritor of the Kaslana bloodline. What exactly happened during this process? Sure enough, what this stupid couple cares about is different. However, now the focus is not solely on 13 Yingjie and Dr. May. Eyes still refocus and return to the light screen. The video continues to play. When the wooden bench is split in half by the lightning power of the Thunderbolt sprout cloth. Taking advantage of the obstruction in her field of vision, Kiana once again rushed towards Thunderbolt Yayi. Despite several previous confrontations, Kiana fell behind. But she still hasn't given up on the idea of defeating Thunderbolt Yayi through battle. But this time, Thunderbolt Yayi seems to be more than before, it's even more aggressive. Make a hand-knife posture with the right hand. Then, shwa. With a single slash, it goes straight out. Kiana's attack was interrupted, and at the same time, her abdomen and clothes showed obvious damage. Ah. Kiana's throat let out a painful low growl. But Thunderbolt Yayi did not stop here, continuous. Shwa. 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 Flying pursuit. Thunderbolt Yayi's sword fell one after another and swung towards Kiana's body. The final cut she thrust out with all her might. Bang. Boom boom. Kiana had a noticeable blue thunder on her body, then he smashed through the wire fence of Qianyu Academy, as well as the building made of cement and bricks. Amidst the intense roar, Kiana fell directly from the top floor to the bottom ground. This time, Kiana probably has no strength to stand up again. Thunderbolt Yayi, that's how she thought. In the light curtain, Barrage from Bang 3 and the Star Dome world reappeared once again. Jingyuan. What a fierce lightning attack. It's actually not bad to be able to reach this level at this age. Raksha. It seems that there is no destiny in their world, so it's still a bit. Black Tower. Indeed, they are using forces completely different from our world. Otto. So, are you all beings from other worlds? Su. Other worlds. It seems that Dr. May's Hengsha plan is correct. Kiana. What are you talking about? Why, I can't understand at all. Alicia. Oh my, it's okay, little sister Kiana. You'll know about these things sooner or later. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 10. Kiana, transformed into the Law of the Void. You are listening at novelfull.audio. TSK. The girl with purple hair. She's really ruthless. Kiana, she won't be okay, will she? Although it is said that it inherits the bloodline of my wife and me, but with such a powerful blow. Outside the light curtain, inside a cozy cabin with an earlier timeline. Watching Kiana in the video, she was hit directly by Thunderbolt Yayi from the rooftop of Qianyu Academy to the ground of the street, emitting such a violent roar and vibration. As a father, Siegfried naturally became worried and anxious. Although he also just learned from the barrage that a girl named Kiana Kislana is his future daughter. But that kind of mysterious blood ties made Siegfried, at this moment, extremely worried about the future of Kiana. The scars of the Kislana family do have this connection, however, since Siegfried is the father, he is worried to this extent. That's even less to say, Cecilia, as a mother at this moment, Cecilia was holding her hands tightly and biting her cherry lips tightly. Cecilia's treatment of Kiana is no less than Siegfried's. However, what sets it apart from Siegfried is as a mother and a woman, Cecilia is not so direct in expressing her emotions. But as a mother, she is undoubtedly very worried about her daughter. But on the other side, inside the Fire Moth conference room of the pre-civilization era. Watching Kiana being pushed back in the video, all members of 13 Yingjie remained calm, with no one speaking or surprised or worried. Not only do they feel that such power is not worth mentioning. More importantly, they know that this battle is just beginning. Now, under the highly focused gaze of countless viewers in the worlds of Bang 3 and Xingqiu, they return to the light screen where the video is playing. Standing on the rooftop of Qianyu Academy just as Thunderbolt Yayi, she thought she had finally taken care of Kiana. Suddenly, above the sky, surrounded by lightning budding close, countless portals appeared suspended. Meanwhile, among those teleporters countless spears of unreal numbers are also poised for deployment. The person who released these things must be Kiana, who was just knocked down by Thunderbolt Yayi. But these forces, it's definitely not something that a Valkyrie can release. At the same time, combined with the high purity collapse energy that erupted from Kiana just now, it can be inferred as a result, there may only be one left. Outside the light curtain, inside the dean's office of St. Freya College. Watching the scene that I had anticipated, but also the least desirable, appear before my eyes. Immediately. Teresa, her eyebrows are completely furrowed together. My heart was filled with grief and discomfort to the extreme. The portal of the imaginary number, as well as countless spears of Yakong. There is only one person who uses this type of combat method, that is the second law, the law of emptiness. But why does Kiana possess the power of the law of the void? Can you say when Grandpa Otto created K423, he really gave the gemstone to? As Kiana's aunt, Teresa is well aware of the story behind Kiana and the origin of her birth. But facing such a fact, she is still somewhat unable to accept it. However, just as Teresa expressed concern about this, next to her, Wuliang Tajiko noticed another crucial point. She spoke to Teresa beside her. Teresa. Kiana in the video now. What she is using is undoubtedly the power of the law of the void. That lawmaker has caused heavy damage to both the world and destiny. We will never forget her abilities no matter what. But have you noticed it? Although Kiana possesses the power of a lawmaker, however, she has always been able to maintain her rationality. Even she never had the idea of harming humanity or destroying civilization. This has happened to any lawmaker before. I'm afraid it never happened. After listening to the analysis of Wuliang Tajiko, Teresa was surprised. She seemed to have also realized something important. Teresa. Jizi. What you mean is, even though Kiana has become a lawmaker, but she's not the kind of lawmaker we know of. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.